Grief can be very complicated. It's complicated if it's a sudden death, an accidental death, a suicide. It's complicated if someone dies that you've been having a rough time with, that your relationship hasn't been going smoothly. There's all kinds of things that make grieving more difficult and not just as straightforward. But also, it's quite possible to have somebody sick for a very long time and you know that they're not going to live, and it still comes as a shock when they die. So there's no right or wrong in any way to any of this. We're all individuals and we all have our own experiences. So sometimes we talk about disenfranchised grief. And that's when, that happens to children all the time, when children are not allowed to grieve what they're feeling bad about. Like they're told they're silly or to smarten up or whatever, but everybody needs to grieve what is hurting them. And when we grieve our hurts, we can move on. If we don't grieve our hurts, then we hold on to them and they live in us as raw wounds. And then we get into relationships and we get triggered, or it's like people throwing salt in those raw wounds. Then, of course, we can get into being pretty blameful because we think the other person is making us feel so terrible. And in fact, the size of our feelings has to do with our old held hurt that we've never had a chance to work through.